Hello everybody, it's Max McAllister from Traxxion Dynamics here today. And today's topic is about electrical wiring, lighting, and accessory upgrades. And this isn't about how to do anything. This is how not to do this. So while a lot of products on the market encourage you to do things yourself, there is a limit and there is a point when you should absolutely hire a professional. So if you really want an extensive lighting package on your bike or a really nice stereo system, these are not do-it-yourself projects. Unless you are been a skilled tradesman, at doing modifications and custom installations of electrical components as a way of life, or at least as a high-level hobby. You should not take your new $25,000 or $30,000 Goldwing and try and do this kind of stuff yourself. We see this frequently. I've got a few videos on my channel of bikes that have come in that are just wrecked that costs the owner thousands of dollars for me or one of my staff to undo all of the mess they created and then try and turn it into a safe, reliable working motorcycle. So I'll show you an example or two of what I'm talking about. So if you take the seat off of your motorcycle and it looks like this, your motorcycle is a rolling fire hazard. This thing is just, wires are going to short out. They're going to touch the frame at some point. The seat's going to grind through them. Your covers are going to grind through them. This bike that I'm showing this picture of has wires laying on the exhaust pipes. There's wires wrapped around the suspension components. This is in the top 3 worst motorcycles I've seen in my 40 years, but these aren't uncommon. This happens. You can't do this to your bike, and you can't let people do this to your bike. This is not a job for my friend who's a really good mechanic. The guy's not qualified, right? You need to find a famous, well-known person that does exceptional electrical work as a way of life. So we do some stuff like that here. There's the one man who's the next level beyond us is Lewis Preston at Electrical Connection in Knoxville, Tennessee. All he does for a living all day long is electrical installations, and he does electrical cleanups. So I have to tell you, if your bike looks like this, or here's a couple of more photos. Here's another bike someone sent me. Said he had installed a bunch of accessories on his bike, and now half of his turn signals and lights on his bike stopped working, and he couldn't figure out why. Okay. This bike, if you take it to a Honda dealer, people talk around all the time about voiding your warranty. No one at Honda will work on this bike. No Honda dealer in the United States will touch that motorcycle. They won't change. They won't do anything. They'll take their seat off, look at that, put the seat back on and say, we can't help you. You've wrecked your motorcycle. This is a rolling fire hazard. Waiting to happen. Wires chopped and spliced. They've chopped into the factory wiring harness. This thing had a stereo done on it. They cut all into the factory wiring harness, searching for the audio outputs from the infotainment system. Somebody had put speakers and just screwed them to a piece of wood and stuck them in the saddlebags. They weren't sealed. They weren't speaker boxes. They had no knowledge of how a stereo works. And they just charged this guy thousands and thousands of dollars to make an absolute rolling disaster out of his bike. This stuff is you need to find, research, highly qualified people, take your bike to them, and there's not a lot to choose from, I'll be honest. But you need to do your homework. It cannot be my friend who's the good mechanic, or my guy who's a registered Honda technician, my friend who did a stereo on this guy who put a stereo on my friend's bike. That's not good enough. You're talking about taking a $30,000 motorcycle that now no dealer will touch. No, if your bike has an engine issue, no one's going to do this. You have a fuel pump recall, they're going to tell you to get out of the building. They're not going to touch this motorcycle. If you want to change your air filter, no one is going to take the shelter off of this motorcycle, on a motorcycle like this, and work on it. Because invariably, half of everything will never work again. And then the guy will be going, well, my light worked when it came in. No one touches stuff like this. So if you've wrecked your motorcycle like this, you're going to be in for a long, miserable life with it. You know, this guy's a super nice guy. He's like, I just want to have a reliable motorcycle I can take long rides on. I told him, you can't take that away from city limits of your house because you're going to be towed, you know, once a month with a wreck like that. So complex electrical installations should not be taken lightly. They cannot be done by the local guy, or just the guy in the bike shop or whatever, because this is what you get. And this is a warranty hazard. It'll burn all kinds of things up on the bike. It could actually burn the motorcycle up. This thing is a rolling safety hazard. It's likely to break down any moment. You can never take it on a trip. It's just a disaster. So, choose your lights wisely. Choose an elegant selection. If you make a Christmas tree out of the bike, you're always going to be spending way more money for anybody who has to do any work on the bike, because they are going to charge you to take it all apart so they can get in and take the pieces out they need to get to. Then they're going to charge you to put it all back together. And if it's not the electrical expert, you're going to be back to having a mess where somebody new guy has chopped into your mess and made more of a disaster out of it. So please, just don't do this. If you see your friend doing it, stop him, from doing this. It's just stupid. It's a disaster. This is like, doing brain surgery on your wife. You have no business doing this. Don't do this. All right. My name's Max. That's my public service announcement for the day. Thanks for watching my channel. Please subscribe, and I'll be back with more great content soon.